and CTO of the Israeli Center of Excellence. There are many centers of excellence in EMC. Israel is one of them, but there are others in India, in Egypt, in China, and others. Our main focus is business-driven innovation. It's organic and inorganic in different areas. We invest in security, mobile, we invest in big data, and we invest also in Flash. We did organic innovation in Flash many years ago. We had a unit in Beersheba in the south of Israel. And then we bought Extreme, we bought Scale, and now we combined all these technologies to have best of breed. We actually identified that this will be the storage of the future, and we are already there. So welcome everyone. I'm happy you are here. My name is Yael Vila, and I'm the General Manager and CTO of the Israeli Center of Excellence. And I know that today the World Day will be around Flash. Just wanted to take advantage to say that we have other competencies in our COE. There are several COEs, like 8 COEs from EMC in the world, in Ireland, Egypt, China, and others, in India and in Israel. Each COE has its own characteristic. Our COE is basically based on what we know in Israel to do best is innovation. So we have a lot of organic and inorganic investment in innovation here in many areas. The Flash issue that you are going to hear today is all about innovation, but other areas as well. And basically what was decided, it was 4 years ago that EMC bought many startups and companies in Israel. Until that time, each company has its own place, its own finance, its own HR. And 4 years ago, EMC decided to have all of them together in one COE.
Morning. Thank you very much for joining us here in Israel. So obviously this is a sales location in terms of one of our countries in Europe, Middle East and Africa. And also it is what we call one of our centers of excellence. We have 9 around the globe. One of them is here in Israel. My name is Simon Walsh. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for EMC across EMEA, Europe, Middle East and Africa. EMC is changing quite dramatically in the same way that many of our customers are going through their own transformation, and they're trying to adapt to new strategies and emerging markets and emerging competitors. So is EMC. You know, one of our key opportunities is that we absolutely aim, when we make these acquisitions, is to keep the employees of the founding businesses as employees of the company and give them the authority and the independence to continue to build out their technical differentiation. Our ultimate goal is to put the right product in front of the customer relative to the need, not just have an answer called Flash is the answer, what was the question? I absolutely observe across all the customers we are interfacing to that speed of change is the thing that they are most fearful of. They are completely convinced they can tackle the technological need. It's whether they can move their own organization. This is the big thing that I think customers are really worried about. We're saying, actually, we are a federation of businesses. We join together where appropriate for our customer, and we operate independently with freedom of choice where it's not. That means the customer has a choice. So if EMC thinks that the best M&O layer for a cloud solution for our customer is actually an OpenStack solution, we'll make that proposition instead of VMware. If VMware thinks that the best underpinning technology for the cloud hardware platform is not EMC, then or vBlock or VCE, then VMware will make that recommendation. Clearly, our job is to join the dots together and make the combination of RSA, Pivotal, EMC and VMware so compelling that the customers feel they want to buy the federation.
One of the important elements in our existence is superiority of technology. If we don't use technology, there is no chance of existing here. So extraction of information for intelligence purposes or for any other kind of activity very quickly, if you heard about the Iron Dome is crunching numbers in real time when a missile is being sent. short distance, 15 seconds to 45 seconds. This is already crunching the number, making the decision, trajectories and such, and meeting the missile in the air with probability in excess of 27%. So you live in that, and consequently, the ability not only to look at data, but also to do the extraction of data, even at real time, is something that is embedded in our culture. The issues related to high availability, and that is both recover point and VPLEX, those issues are extremely important in the category that was created in EMC by the VMAX. So we have still groups that are dealing with the core coding of the VMAX, but also the abstraction that relates to the fact that this is a highly available device and can meet any kind of requirement in a superior term, turned into a software independent component that was acquired with Kasha and ported on multiple physical devices, then eventually also ported on into software that is effective in the cloud. Security is very much related to two things. It's related to the fact that on one hand we have the knowledge as I described in data science, but on the other hand, as I said earlier, we need to protect a lot of IT infrastructure that makes us technological viable, and that is about security.
My name is Ehud Rokach. General Manager today for Extreme.io. I was with Extreme.io since the very beginning as the CEO from the very early days. The original thinking was processing speed goes up exponentially, orders of magnitude in 3 decades. And surprising, I think, for anyone that looks, that's not into storage, performance on the storage side grew up very, very slowly compared with everything else. So processing exponential, networking exponential, communications exponential, and storage, because of mechanical, physical limitations, almost nothing compared with the rest of the IT infrastructure environment. And this creates a gap. This makes storage in many, many cases a bottleneck. And this was really the original thinking behind why should we build storage with flash instead of disk. It was mostly around performance in the very beginning of envisioning Extreme.io. We have learned that performance is only one aspect of the value we can create. So why flash in general? Flash releases us from these limitations. You can consume flash in different ways. But an all-flash array, certainly the Extreme.io thinking around an all-flash array is designed to maximize all the positive aspects of flash, allow the speed and performance of the media itself to go all the way to the application, so you can actually use and enjoy the speed end-to-end, and leverage the less trivial, more interesting aspects of flash being a random access and not a sequential media.
As Palgi, I'm one of the founders and the general manager of Scale.io at EMC. Our team has been trying to disrupt the status quo of the storage industry for quite a long time. All the major vendors provided converged solutions in the past years, and then actually Scale.io and others enabled to take that convergence one step further to hyperconvergence, which takes all the benefits of operational ease, smaller granularity of growth blocks, etc., to another level. The importance of scale in today's data centers is paramount. It changes the ability of IT guys to, when they need to run a small data center of tens or hundreds of servers, to something that now needs to communicate with arrays, with millions of servers. At Scale.io, we provide the software that gives customers everything that they expect from traditional high-end storage arrays, with the ability to run that software on the customer's hardware of choice. So what this means from a customer perspective is he now can build a data center wall to wall with server hardware of his choice only. And when he chooses the server hardware, all he needs to think about is what his applications need in terms of resources.
The problem we faced close to 5 years ago and are still facing today is how to design such an array. And what should be different when designing a flash-based storage array than when spinning disk or sequential-based storage arrays were designed. And basically, in both cases, the design points are around trade-offs. Now, the number one, or the two major resources that exist when dealing with computational problems and designing a storage array is no exception, are space and time. In the sense of a storage array, space is how efficient you can use your capacity. All storage arrays have overhead, and the less overhead you have, the better your array, because you give your customer or your application as many of those storage blocks on the underlying media. On disk-based storage arrays, you could either have high performance or capacity efficiency. You could not do both, and all available disk-based storage arrays tread that line, where they chose to be more performant, where they chose to be more efficient in terms of capacity, but it was a very hard problem to solve. So that thing that was troubling me in the previous slide about how to keep things sequential, I don't need to worry about that anymore. And that allows me to develop a much simpler array with less trade-offs, and which is much easier to manage.
So, hi guys. I want to speak about the use case of cloud insurance. It's one of our premium customers, a very big reference customer. Cloud insurance is a financial company, an insurance and financial company. Klal is operating like a group of companies, and Klalbit is an IT company which provides IT services for the whole group. So they're actually the IT unit for the whole group. As looking to their IT environment, they are 100% virtualized for several years already. They're premium EMC and EMC Federation customers, so also premium VMware customer. Everything in production is running on virtual environments of the production applications. They have a very clear strategy of defining their business procedures. They have a primary data center, and they also have an additional data center for disaster recovery and business continuance. In addition, they also have some abroad facilities, as due to financial regulations, they had to put their data abroad. So we have some abroad facilities in Greece. They choose XtremIO, and currently we started with one small unit of XtremIO. Currently, they have about 9 units already, and they're looking forward to move more applications to Flash. So there are a lot of technologies speaking about Flash, okay? But XtremIO was unique from the deduplication perspective, and now from compression perspective. It was fast enough, and one of the major actually aspects from them choosing XtremIO is that we were able to actually fit in their enterprise strategy in the IT.